Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Book 2, Chapter 1, Text 93 and 94. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tato jāta-bahir-dṛṣṭiḥ sarva-jña-śiromaṇiḥ jñātvā māthuraṁ vipraṁ kāmākhyā-deśa-vāsinam Śrīmān Madana-gopālo pāsakaṁ ca samāgatam niḥsṛtya kuñjād utthāpya natvāliṅgya nyaveśayat. The young cowherd was the crest jewel of those who know everything. As the Brahmin regained external consciousness, the cowherd recognized him as a Mathurā Brahmin living in the district of the goddess Kāmākhyā and worshipping Śrīmān Madana-gopāla. The cowherd then came out of the grove, raised the Brahmin, bowed down to him, embraced him, and made him sit down. Purport: the young cowherd, coming to external consciousness because of the call of the Brahmin, tato, became aware of the Brahmin, who had been born in a Mathurā Brahmin family, who lived in the province of Kama-rupa, worshipping Devi, and who had somehow come from far off. He understood that he was a worshipper of Madana-gopāla, and that he had come here. Or he understood that he had met the person whom Radha had given him the order to meet in the bower. Coming out of the bower, he offered respects to the Brahmin, raised him from the ground, and then embraced him and had him sit down. Om ajnana-timirandasya gananjana shalakaya taksurunmalitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So greetings from Middletown, New Jersey, my new home, and thank you to my serious students who come on Wednesday, even though I speak on Sunday, but it's a nice format because I think the people that come twice could really learn the stories. I'm teaching it also on Sunday, after I give the Sunday class, to a group of maybe a couple hundred people in this Bhagavad Gita University where I'm engaged in teaching the leaders, the teachers. And it's so nice, and kind of, I'm really trying to teach them like the story. So let's just go over the story quickly. The first book is Narada searching for the topmost recipient of Krishna's mercy. It's a summary of the Bhagavatam given by Maharaj Bṛhad to Uttara at the end of her life. And she heard about the people who have the topmost consciousness, because Narada came to, and we know the story, he came to the gopis, but you want to know about the place. And the place tells a lot about the person, because the place is a manifestation, ideally, of the consciousness of a person to be happy. So you can see a person's consciousness by the place he stays. So she wanted to know about the place where these people stay, and that would give her even a deeper understanding of the topmost recipients of Krishna's mercy. And at the same time, this is all told by Sanatana Goswami, who's trying to help us understand that place and those people, because that place and those people is what Lord Chaitanya gave to the world. So Uttara begins to ask about that. Marge Prickett says, I will explain it about the place by telling you a story. And she told the story about a Brahmin who was worshiping Devi. And Devi gave him a mantra. Now we have to remember also that in one sense, Devi is also Sri Radha, because it's a manifestation of Radha, all the Shaktis. Shakti is a manifestation of Radha. So it's the same person, but manifest not as fully. But somehow it gives him this thing to go to Vrindavan, and then he gets there's certain detours, because although he's getting the potency of the object, because he, in an innocent way, he's chanting, but because he doesn't have knowledge, that sentiment that he has can only be guided in almost like a negative way. This doesn't suit me, this doesn't suit me, this doesn't suit me. But somehow or other, and I guess it'll be revealed in the story, because even here we say that Radha made a plan for this cowherd boy to meet him. So there's something going on. So he's somehow guided in the heart every time he gets detoured, because he's told, this is the mantra, you'll be sad, all your desires will be satisfied in Vrindavan. I mean, I hope that's the way we feel now. We may go to so many other places. I really got into this Ram Leela. If you haven't seen it, the video is on my WhatsApp group. And I really got into it reading the story for 2 weeks. And I had a desire now to go to Ayodhya as they built the new temple. And I don't have a desire generally, wherever I am, I don't have a desire to be anyplace else. That's my nature. I don't even want to leave my office here to go to my bedroom. That's my nature. It's not to travel. Probably I have less miles than any other sannyasi, honestly speaking. 1 or 2 trips a year, that's it. And he goes to the places where there's attractive dharma. It doesn't suit his heart. And then the Devi, kāmākhyā, appears in his heart. Somehow it's this understanding that God is trying to bring us closer to him. And we all have different adhikari, we all have different experiences we need. Some people, like the foolish child who's leaving his loving family to experience the world, has to suffer, just like in the Amish, at 17 years old, the kids are told, go and enjoy and do whatever the hell you want. And then after a year, make a choice. Do you want to be with us or not? And they're having a higher return of children committing to get baptized within the Amish community than ever before. Because before there wasn't so much of a difference. So, you know, you can say outside it wasn't, but now it's such a stark difference. You know, and they can feel the degradation of consciousness as they go to hardcore shows, maybe take drugs, hit on women, whatever, or prostitute, whatever they do. I don't know, the parents, they do whatever you want. So it doesn't satisfy the heart. And that's my hope of taking people to the holy Dham of Vrindavan and having experience. They can never be satisfied with any other place, even New Jersey. Now that I'm here, I have to respect the locals here. To me now more and more people are like Jayanta. You know, he came to my program instead of going to the city, where Jayadvaita and Radhanath Swami is thinking. So I think he's starting to get the idea of New Jersey. Why are people so depressed in New York? Because in New Jersey, because the light at the end of the tunnel is New York. I'm changing my attitude now. Although on Saturday, I'm having a program in New York. I just got message from Sri Rupa that Sri Prahlad's coming. So I have a lot of kirtan. I spoke to a Kinchana. He's thinking of coming, so we could have a real intimate and a lot of kirtan. And I'll figure out. I usually like to speak about Ras Katha, but I'm not sure what I'll speak about. I may test out one of my seminars that I'm going to give on yoga, forgiveness, how to give up justified hate. Or this seminar I gave in Vrindavan, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Preachers. So then he almost really gets stuck in Prayag because it is bhakti and people are worshiping different forms. It's a little confusing for him, but he's advised that you'll free yourself from confusion if you worship the Madhava deity, which is the deity. So it kind of looks like what manifests in my mantra, because when you chant sincerely, then there's Nam, Rup, Guna, Lila. Then the form of the mantra should start to manifest. But he can't recognize because he doesn't have that knowledge. But then that deity appears in his saying. You know, you were told by Lord Shiva, the wife of Devi, go to Vrindavan and all your desires will be fulfilled. So he heads to Vrindavan, and you know, immediately within the mantra, the sweetness of the place, and then even the in his mantra, not only the rupa, but the guna, the 64 qualities, and a little bit about the parikars. Evidently, there's something special about this Mathurā Brahmin. His family was from Mathurā, but they left. Just like I told you, there was this wonderful Vaishnava disciple of Radhanath Swami who attended my class in Vrindavan, in Govardhan. And he was so humble, but I asked him, can you give a comment? Because I was doing the 20th chapter, the Shikshastika prayers. And he started analyzing the next to last verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita in a very brilliant way with his Sanskrit knowledge, etc., like that. But he, same thing, he was a Brahmin from Govardhan. At the time of Aurangzeb, his family was driven out. But because the samskara is there, even though his daughter was born in London, as soon as she gets to Delhi, she won't wear shoes. His daughter, the samskara, the impression from his family is still so embedded within his conscious, even though he's like a project consultant, IT, genius, and somehow or other, some scars to his daughter, and they said, he said, you could put on your shoes, you could put, I'm not putting on my shoes. Why? I'm home. So there's some connection. And then he goes to Vishram Ghat. That's traditionally the place where I think Krishna rested in Mathurā after killing Kamsa. It's generally the place where a Braj-mandal parikram begins. And then he comes to Keshi Ghat and he hears this crying. He doesn't know what it is. And that's where we are now. And he meets this cowherd boy, which is the Gop Kumar. And he's going to begin to question Gop Kumar. And Gop Kumar tells him his story. And that story is Gop Kumar, like him, getting a mantra that carries him different places. And he describes his journey where he's attracted but never satisfied in so many places, and how that's connected with Krishna bringing the devotee back to the spiritual world. We can't understand Krishna's plan. It's inconceivable how he deals with us. Because to have a realization, you may need a realization. And to have that realization, you may need a realization. To have that one, you may need a realization. So after everything, you may need a realization. And what it takes to give us those realizations. And the main realization is, you're not the controller, you're not the enjoyer. Your only satisfaction will be found in service to God. You're a fish and you're out of water. The pain is God's mercy, because it indicates you can never be satisfied here. It's not your place. So the pain we feel in different places. It's just Krishna telling us again and again, you got to surrender. I remember when I went to the Bhakti Center and Kirtanananda was still there, and Radhanath Swami went. Radhanath Swami is cultured, He got something from Kirtanananda before he went out. So he's like a real Radhanath Swami. It's past life from India. He has that culture of respect that you don't find so much in the West, so ingrained in him. So he offered respects. And Kirtanananda was famous for being laconic. Laconic. It's after a general in a war who said a very short statement, General Laconic. So short statements that have a lot of meaning, it's called laconic. And Kirtananda said, well, you can't surrender in the future. You can't surrender in the past. You can't surrender in the future. You have to surrender now. So that's what Krishna tells us. And it becomes increasingly difficult with the modern social media and internet, and how the world, according to your consciousness, it's so funny because they track yourself and they throw things at you according to your desires. That they study how to condition you for economic reasons. And they're very sophisticated with it. So anyway, this Brahmin, he was in ecstasy, came to external consciousness, and he recognized the mature Brahmin. And then he bowed down and embraced him and made him sit down. Atatityena santosya vishvasotpadanayasa kinchit tena nubhutam yad vajayam asasem smitam. To further gain the Brahman's confidence, the cowherd pleased him with hospitality and then smiled and revealed something about the Brahman's life. Purport: satisfying the Brahmin by welcoming him according to time and place, the boy revealed in brief what the Brahmin had experienced, starting with his worship of Devi and concluding with his coming to Vrindavan. Though this was all in the Brahmin's heart, the boy related it with skill in order to gain the Brahmin's trust in the words he would speak. Otherwise, he would not believe the most astonishing facts to be revealed. Just one thing, I don't know, time difference, I kind of have not, my success is my steadiness in these classes, keeping the same people for maybe 12 years, and new people come and they stay because I'm steady. I haven't been that way in my WhatsApp group, but today, I don't know, I offered about 5:45, I offered to my deities prasad, and I had some time, and I just thought, let me see if I can find that YouTube of Hridayananda Maharaj debating Ted Patrick, who had tried to deprogram me. And I was watching it, and it was so refreshing. I'm just going to share this realization. The early Hare Krishnas, we were so fired up. We weren't trying to blend into society. We were trying to change society. It was a whole different consciousness. We're so concerned, what will we look like if we go out and do Harinam? And, of course, we want to present ourselves. It's very subtle. But I just kind of appreciated that spirit. And, now how to regain that spirit without becoming fanatic or, wanting to blend in. But, maybe there was something to it. Anyway, I put it on the WhatsApp group. And then I said, let me see another one. And there was a show called Challenge My Sermon. And so it was Hare Krishna who was being challenged, and there were 4 other people. They didn't pick bright people. I don't know what their show was thinking. They should have picked. But it was a devotee, Umapati, one of the first devotees. And even Kirtanananda Swami told me, don't argue with Umapati. So it was really fresh to see the directness and the confidence and the faith that was inspired by Prabhupada's presence in that revolutionary movement, and just trying to figure out how to get it back without compromising, all the excellent work is being done to with realization, package the message so people we couldn't preach to anyone anyway then. We could only go for the youth. So it didn't matter if we looked good in society, because our market was the people who already left society. So anyway, this is interesting. So somehow this cowherd boy has a mission. And Atityena, Atita Bhagavan, this is Atityena. Atita is guest, Atityena is hospitality, Santosha, satisfying with hospitality. Vishvas, faith, gave him faith. And then he revealed something about his own experience. So let's see what he wants to tell him. Budva gopa kamarantam lab tvevatma priyam buddha vishvasto katayatismin swabhritam brahmanakilam. The Brahmin now understood that this was a young cowherd boy and accepted him as if the boy were a dear friend. Happily trusting him, the Brahmin then recounted his own life story. Purport: the Brahmin understood that this was not his deity, but a cowherd boy endowed with all good qualities. He accepted him as a good friend. So he was given all hospitality. So important. Hospitality is so important, especially for someone who's new or a guest. You know, culture facilitates communication. You know, and that's it. You reveal your heart to someone you trust, and that trust is materialized in actions. Consciousness is materialized in actions. You can say words to someone, but if you demonstrate what you feel, it's much more sure to accept that as what you really feel. Because words, you can say anything, but actions, you know, they more concretely demonstrate what's in the heart. So now he's got his confidence. Sakarpanyam idam chasau prasrita puna abravit tam sarva-jña natvā satamam gopanandatam. Then with great humility, considering this young child of the cowherds, the best of wise men, and a great saint, the Brahmin submissively added inquiry. So the Brahmin, who was polite, spoke with humility. Sakarpanyam spoke this. And so 5 verses he's inquiring. Sri Brahmana uvacha shrutva baho vidam sadhyam sadhanam cha tatastata prapyam krityam chanirnetum sakinchit chakyate maya. The Brahmin said, from various sources I have heard of various goals and various methods to achieve them, but still I cannot definitely decide what goal I should strive for and what I should do to reach it. So he had a sentiment, but it wasn't supported by an understanding. And these 2 things are required for faith. If you ask me how I came to Krishna consciousness, there was an experience, but then there was a understanding and a philosophy that guided that experience to deepen that experience. Otherwise, it's hard to keep that faith. It will recede if it's not renewed. So there was actually an experience. And this is so important. I'm thinking, like Hari Kirtan in his Bhagavad Gita made a beautiful point that he's not trying to show people. He wants people not to look at the Bhagavad Gita through their own experience, not to look at the world through their own experience, or look at the Bhagavad Gita by their experience, but look at the world through the lens of the Bhagavad Gita, and how to bridge that gap of people's resistance. So he did a book, and he did a good job. But thinking about that is actually what faith is. You have an experience, but then you have some knowledge and understanding that can guide that experience and deepen that experience. So he had the experience, he got something, but he still was confused. And you can see that with people. Sometimes people get an experience in Krishna consciousness and they don't have a reasonable philosophical understanding of Sambandha Gyan, and they get confused. They can commit offenses, they can get confused. Purport, I've heard about many goals such as swaga and liberation and many means such as karma and jnana on the bank of the Ganga, and Kashi and elsewhere, tatastata, I am able to determine what result to attain and what should be done to attain it. Because I hear many different opinions, I cannot concentrate on one of them. So the most important question is, what is the sadhya, what is the sadhana? What is the goal, what is the means to attain it? So he doesn't know, but he has some faith in his mantra. But he's not able to actualize the goal. Yachadevya kaya kinchit anutishtami nityasa tasyapi kim phalam tacha katamat karma vedmina. Whatever the God has ordered me, I regularly do, but I have no idea about the results of those duties, or even what kinds of acts they are. He says, I'm doing something, I don't know what really the results are, and what it really has. And how potent this is. It just have some attraction. Purport. Why then do you chant this mantra? I do a little by the order of Devi, since there are many details for households and sannyasi. I just perform the chanting with abbreviated procedures. I do it by the order of Devi, not because of knowledge of the truth. What is the action and goal? Is the action dharma, jnana, or bhakti? I do not know. Since I chant without faith, though I perform the actions, it appears I am not doing them with any result. He's just confused. He's just confused. Tainidam vipalam janma manvana. These are all his questions. He's trying to find out. Tainidam vipalam janma manvana kamaye mritam param jivami kripaya shivayor madhavasya. I therefore think that my life worthless, and I simply want to die. I continue to live only by the mercy of Lord Madhava and Lord Shiva and his wife. So this is natural when you're sincere and you want a goal and you can't understand it. It can be very disturbing. And I always tell the story when Ayendra came to my room crying. He wants to understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. And I said, Prabhu, you think maybe you've become a sahajya? And then he was giving the Bhagavatam class the next day. And the whole class he gave, looking at me with his furrowed eyes about narrow-minded people. I remember that. But the point was, he was upset. When you're sincere, you want to know. You want to know what to do. And sometimes we become confused. That's why we have mentors, because the Shastra is a compendium of circumstances that lets you know in circumstances what's God saying and how do you respond to it. Because, well, then, what do I do? This is what happened. What do I do? Well, this is what God's saying, because I know the Shastra, and this is what the Shastra recommends you react. So we're desperate. We all are desperate because it's so confusing in this world. It's so confusing. You know, I was speaking to a Kinchana. He has severe tinnitus. And he's trying everything. That's why he's in America now. Yeah, such a nice Vaishnav, but suffering. Why? And all of us, all our lives, you know, we have, as Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, those who are fortunate becomes unfortunate, those who are unfortunate become fortunate. You're having a good period. I'm living here now in opulence. You know, I got what a seat that Tota got for me. It's like a small couch, but just fits me cross-legged. I got a nice table before it, and I'm looking at my deities. It's got a nice place. So, but nevertheless, there's always a pinch. Just so you don't think, oh my God, I'm controlling, I'm enjoying. There's always a pinch. Mars Yudhisthira suffered so much, finally it was stable. And finally it was stable. They settled the differences with his uncle Dhritarashtra. He was serving him. Vidura came, they all left home. There's always something. Would you mind choosing someone else next time? Tayaiva tradya sarva-jñan dayalum tvam swadevavat prapya rishva prasanosmi kripanam mam sumadra. Only by their mercy have I met you here today, a compassionate and all-knowing person. You are just like my worshipful deity, and I am very happy and satisfied to meet you. Now, please deliver this wretched soul. That's why you want to meet a saintly person. You want to know. Sanatana Goswami, when he met Lord Chaitanya, people say I'm a learned man, but I don't know where I came from. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. Shishas teha mam tvam prapanam. Shishas te mam tvam prapanam. Arjuna, I am a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Marge Prickett, what is the duty of a man who's about to die? What should he not do? Everyone wants knowledge because our decisions determine our fate, and if we make the wrong decisions, we screw up our future. So you need tatsarayana munayo jnana vairagya yuktya. You need jnana and vairagya. You need knowledge and detachment. Without knowledge, you don't know what to do. Without detachment, you can't do it. So, si priksharu vacha nashamya sadaram tasya vachanam sa vachintayat etasya krityasya jāta-bahir-dṛṣṭiḥ kila. Sri Parikshit said, respectfully having heard the Brahman's words, the young cowherd boy thought, this person has done everything he needs to do. Indeed, his life is a complete success. So somehow the Brahman's thinking he's in the right direction. But now, of course, we're going back to the dialogue. We're talking about this story about this Brahmin and cowherd boy. But now it's being told by Maharaj to Uttara. So now the Bhagavatam takes us back to there. The story within the story within the story. Purport, hearing his words with respect or affection, Sadaram, the younger cowherd boy thought. His thoughts were explained till verse 108. This Mathura Brahmin who worshipped Madana-gopāla has become successful. The word kila expresses possibility or certainty. Indeed, kritasya, you've done everything you need for purna artata, for the artata, for the success in life, for the value in life. It's jāta, it's arisen, purna, it's arisen to its complete success. Now we have to find out why. It doesn't seem he's attained it yet. Kevalam tat padamboja sakshad iksha vishishyate tajapertat hate nasakam kintutam namakirtana. All that remains for him to achieve is to see directly the lotus feet of the Lord. He needs to become attached not so much to the solitary chanting of the Lord's mantra, but to the sankirtan of his names. He has everything, but he needs to become more absorbed. And sankirtan is better than kirtan. He was kirtan, he had his mantra, but he needed sankirtan. And this is interesting, because this is Sanatana Goswami. This is Sanatana Goswami telling the world through these stories what is the abhideya tattva, what is the truth about how to practice. It's the Sankirtan of the names. And Sankirtan means congregation. It also means complete chanting, chanting with real feeling. So, he's seen the deity, he's in Vrindavan, he's getting some darshan or vision with his chanting. So he already has that attachment to meditation. But he needs to absorb his mind more in the name of Madana-gopāla. Śrīmān Madana-gopāla padhabjo pasanat param nama sankirtana prayad panchatita phalapradat tatlila stalapalinam saddha sandarshanartarai sampadyamanam nitaram kinchid nastyeva sadhanam. Certainly no means of perfection is superior to the worship of Śrīmān Madana-gopāla's lotus feet. That worship yields results far beyond what one could expect. It should be formed mainly through Nam Sankirtan. This worship is produced by reverence and affection for many places of Sri Gopal's pastimes, places one should regularly visit. So we're really getting the abhideya. Now that he says that, I'm going to do more parikram. Because I'm living in Govardhan. It can't be better than that. Going around that hill in the morning. I go around the Govinda Kund side. Lush forests growing now. Sadhus, so many people going around the hill. The Dandavadis. So many people just going Dandavad. And people that, my God, they can hardly walk sometimes. It's like real old people, can hardly walk, but they're going to go around the hill that way. And then the blue cows. I've never seen so many blue cows when I was walking when Champak is there. She's about a half hour up the road for me. So she waits till I come, and then she follows me when I go around. And we're seeing unprecedented herds of Nilgaya. And they're more friendly. They used to be terrified. Now they've come down from the hill. They used to really hide. I've seen herds. We have one video of 20 Nilgayas. Purpose, how is this all accomplished? One should have attachment to perfecting the highest sadhana. And sadhya, this is explained in 3 verses. There is no sadhana except worshipping the lotus feet of Madana-gopāla, endowed with an unlimited variety of splendid service, Śrīmān. Since that worship excellently bestows all results beyond what one can desire or even what does not desire, or it gives results beyond what one could imagine. In that worship there is prominence of the Lord, sweet chanting of the names of Govinda, Gopala, what is it? Namo Damodar Maraveti. Yeah, the names, chanting kirtan. Wow. Yeah. And, in Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, what we're seeing is every time Narada goes to the place that the person describes, it's better. And in material things, it's always better in your mind than getting there. In spiritual things, it's better than what you imagined if it was done properly. The people who've come, and this is one of my main services, I don't do it, but Yoga Maya helps me, and Leela Vilasini, And the people that come, new people, they just can't fathom the experience they had, which you can't just by looking at it analytically. It's just, it's not clean sometimes, whatever, but somehow the experience that people have, it's amazing. I remember this one guy, someone guided him to me, Mother Pranada. She's a wonderful Vaishnavi, writes beautiful books on bhakti. So she referred him to me. He's coming to Vrindavan. He's 50 years for the first time. He opens the door where I'm standing, and there is Siddheshri, Jai Jagannath, and Sabyasachi. That's his entrance, and I'm standing there with them, And then Jai Jagannath's walking to Sri Rupa Seva Kunj. The guy goes with him. And after that, Krishna just opened up one door after another. It got better and better. And if those doors are not open, you don't see anything. Door after door. And recently, this lady came and she met Lila Vlasini, and then she brought it to me. And I just, door after door. She's going to come to my program, Boca Raton. She lives in Miami. Door after door after door after door. So it gives results better than one could imagine. No one could conceive of the experience they'll have if they do it properly. The characteristics of worship are described. The worship is produced by having great affection for the places of the Lord's pastimes, by seeing them, having faith in them. This is the cause of worship. Because this is Shastra. I immediately say, yeah, I'm going to go more on Brikraṁ. I never like to leave. I'm in Govardhan when I need to go any place, but there's places. I did go. Where did I go? I went somewhere. And uncharacteristically, I was excited to go, and I went with someone. Oh yeah, this is a very interesting point that the cowherd boy says, really to give them that faith about the places, how important it is these places are and how they can invoke faith. Normally I shouldn't speak about myself, but the exception is when what you say can help others. That's like my Ted Patrick story. I'd probably tell it once a year, maybe. And not so eager to tell it, but if the circumstance is right, it can help people, then it's fine. Okay, Jamuna Jaya. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for class. There was a lot, a lot there today, but two of the things I really, really appreciate is comes up a lot in this is that this Brahmin had faith, but without the knowledge, we can get diverted in so many ways, and we can see that in our own lives. And so I really but that the deity keeps showing up. It's almost like Krishna doesn't give up. And then I just love the way you put it. It's like and I know this, when we're suffering from unhappiness, it's because we're trying to be the controller and walking away from what we actually are. And I love the way you said it today. That's when we're unhappy instead of understanding that we are the eternal servants of Krishna. So thank you, Raj. Those are really great
I,
things.
I, I have a question.
Yes, Raj.
It was great to see you on Sunday.
I'm so happy to be there.
Yeah. And after the program, you gave your husband his required 10 minutes for the week.
Yes, I did.
Did
And I
you,
brought him some prasad.
and you brought him some prasad. Did you skip off then to the Bhakti Center?
No, I actually stayed with my husband for the rest of the evening.
Okay, good girl. Good girl.
Thank you, Raj.
Throw him a few drops of mercy, Jamunajay. I don't
Everyone's,
Did you tell him that I ordered you to give him 10 minutes?
Yes, I did.
What was his quick New York retort?
He said, "Thanks a lot, Mirage."
I love his sense of humor, right?
He's so, he's so dry as a bone.
No, no, he's got that good sense of humor.
He does.
And so do I. To send a message for you, like, don't be cruel, give your husband 10 minutes. So
Today.
Guru's approved. So,
I'll tell him that when I see him at 9 o'clock tonight. He got his 10 minutes this morning.
but I will see him at the Rath Yatra, right?
Oh yeah, he always loves coming. He always loves
Okay,
coming.
make
Yeah.
sure that I can see him so we can joke about your cruelty to him.
Yes, Raj, I will.
Okay. Uh,
Very cool.
Gail, you have any questions?
Yeah, this was an action-packed class for me also, Maharaj. So I kind of don't know where to start. But anyway, one thing, a couple of things I wanted to ask you, because you talked about the power of sankirtan versus solitary,
Yeah.
meditation. But if the objective is absorption,
Yeah.
and a person finds it more, absorbing to do it alone, then what do you say?
That's the principle. And I myself am much more absorbed chanting japa. I was sitting here this morning and I envisioned that it was 26 Second Avenue and my chanting of the holy name on the out breath, which is 3 or 4 mantras, was
Mm-hmm.
kirtan in 26 Second Avenue. And then when I took my breath in with a mantra, I was envisioning Prabhupada chanting. So I was actually doing Sankirtan in my mind. But I just think I wrote something on this. I forgot where it is, where I tried to resolve this dichotomy. If Nam Sankirtan is better, then why are we chanting japa? Why don't we tell people just chant 2 hours of kirtan in the morning? Seems
Yeah.
I kind of resolved that at one point. And I can't put my mind. I have to find it. But
Yeah, I remember you did. You
what?
did talk about. I do. I also remember that you
Can you
addressed
try to
this.
find it for me?
Okay.
Try to find it for me. But I think the principle is where we're absorbed. It's just the facility that music has to invoke emotion that connects us with the object of the song. It is very powerful. We know that.
But you also gave this other technique, which I kind of prefer, is where you do a personal translation of the mantra yourself, because what you really want, is more absorbing.
Yes,
And
yes, yes. So there's many, many ways to absorb ourselves, but the absorption will the absorption will um, that's where we feel the full brunt of the object. Absorption with the right attitude, because the attitude opens ourselves to the experience. So
mhm.
yeah, okay. What else, Gail?
Yeah. So also, just a little confusion for me is, he, I don't know, it was Devi who gave him the mantra, no? Who
Yeah.
gave the Brahmin. But at the same time, then where does that deity, his name begins with the K, I forget the name of the deity.
Yeah.
Where does he factor in? Because he was worshiping that deity, no?
Um, well, Lal found it and put the reference
Really?
down
Yeah,
already.
looks like that's what he was doing. Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I think it comes out in the story, and I don't remember. I seem to remember reading this, but now I think it comes out in the story. We'll have to find out in the story where the connection is. I don't want to speculate now because it'll come. Okay?
Yeah. I just want to say, Maharaj, that well, for one thing, you often say, the same things, but sometimes you tweak it. And when you talk about how, we don't understand what God's doing with us because we need the the building blocks of realizations.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was just the fact that you put that word realization in there, instead of just using building blocks, that was just made it go deeper. And when you were also saying that, our life is arranged nicely, but then, we get pinched here and there. And for me, that kind of shed light on, although, I'm really attached to being very organized, having my environment very organized. And yet I get plagued with these mysterious disappearances, things just like mysteriously disappear. And I've always been asking God, why does this happen? So I feel like that kind of sheds some light on why those things happen. It's like, I think maybe he's just trying to remind me I'm not the enjoyer controller.
Yeah,
Like
Krishna, it's a personal appearance by Krishna to steal the things you have. What a sweet
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, Maharaj, I can put something and it disappears and then it turns up in a very open place. There's no way that it was there before, and it's really kind of mystical. So yeah.
You have a mystical karma. Okay, Gail, I'll make a joke now. After telling me I'm like a one-trick pony, I'm just joking. Okay, okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Good morning, Maharaj. Thank you for class.
Ishwari, what book you got there? Oh,
I was using it to lean on. This is
oh,
Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards.
right.
And I'm reading yours too. I'm reading not Nectar, Wave of Devotions.
You read
Those
that
are,
with devotion. That's
yeah,
good.
going back to it, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's in the other room. I have a book in every room.
Oh, great.
My reference books all over the house.
Think we'll see you this Saturday. Can you get over the river?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm feeling a little sick, so I'm working from home the rest
Okay.
of the week. So hopefully by Saturday I'll be better.
Krishna's blessed you with this kind boss.
I work for very good people, and yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely believe it's a blessing from Krishna.
that is. Okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Jai Shri Radhe.
I just wanted to thank you very much for the class because it was one of those that gives so many things that I want to write down because they really speak to me.
Great. Good. Wonderful.
And also, if it's possible, if I can say it, I would really love to hear about yoga of forgiveness on Saturday.
You're coming,
you were
aren't you?
Yeah, I would love to come. Yeah, I will
Oh,
try.
okay, you're trying for that one. Okay. Good. All right, let's see. If I don't, I would give you a private lesson.
Thank you so
Okay?
much.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Yavat Sundari,
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thank you very much for the class.
you're such a good mother.
Oh, thank you,
Because
Maharaj.
I spoke to Sri Radhika and I was worried, she'd come to the US and different things, maybe she won't be happy. She's in ecstasy. She wound up in absolutely, if you could have picked a place, you couldn't pick a place that would be better for her in a devotee community. About maybe there's 4,000 or 5,000 devotees there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And she already met Brahmatirtha, my friend. He wrote me a nice letter, how intelligent she is. There's so many people her age, So you're the good mother that's just sacrificed for your daughter because you're not with her.
No.
But at least,
And it's not possible to go to US, Maharaj. I applied for visa. They didn't give it to me.
it's anyway, that's going to be the problem. But let's wait. The world is changing.
Yeah, they didn't reject me. I sent a paper to a conference and I applied for the conference, but they said, okay, we need to investigate. So they didn't reject me, but they didn't give a visa to me.
Next time you do it with my friend Jayanta, because he did such a good job for your daughter.
Yeah, but I couldn't apply it the same way, Maharaj, because I'm working for the government.
I know. I never, things will have to change, and they could.
Yeah.
Right now, the currency in Iran is just tanking so low.
Gosh,
You
yeah.
know, the people, I shouldn't say this online, but anyway.
No, it doesn't matter, Maharaj.
Okay.
We say everything online.
Okay, the people are not satisfied. So let's see what happens in the future.
Yeah. Please pray for Iran, Maharaj. Please pray for us.
I'm praying that I can go to your house and eat the Supreme Personality of rice.
Oh, thank you, Maharaj. This is the best thing.
I'm going to have a Supreme Personality of rice.
In quiche. Yeah.
One day you'll cook, one day Norm Saki will cook, one day Sudesh will cook.
Oh, thank you, Maharaj.
I'm going on an eating tour. And if that desire is not strong enough to change the government, I don't know what is.
Oh, I hope it gets too stronger, Maharaj.
Okay, but wonderful how you really, Mother, just concerned that your daughter's happy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, she says there are very good people around there.
No, there's so many people. I mean, it's exciting for her. And her fiance already has 2 houses, you know.
Yeah,
so
I hope they get on well, Maharaj, and everything goes well.
I'm telling her, I know what I've been telling her strongly.
Yeah, she's sacrificing at this moment, Maharaj. Since she went there, she's doing lots of work there.
I told her.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. That's very kind of you.
We'll all pray for you and your daughter that things work.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else want to say hello?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. It's Lal Govinda.
And Braja, thank you for class.
Thanks for class.
Wow. Okay. You know, the pizza was still good today.
Who would have thought in an Indian place?
I broke my fast with the pizza. We went to that, what's it called? Aksharadham?
Yeah. Yeah, the Swami Narayan.
It's beyond belief. I don't think the Taj Mahal can stand up to that, honestly. When you go inside that temple and look at those like 40 feet ceilings with intricate white, pure marble.
Yeah.
And the system of that restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so organized, you know.
Incredible.
Yeah, well, that was the pre-Ekadasi Nirjal fast day. And this was the post. Okay.
New Jersey's not so bad.
It's the best. It's sometimes you don't realize things. It takes years and years of practice. Okay. Okay.
Well.
You can see I'm in a jolly mood. Did Ekadasi and then, but
yeah.
No, I did the Instapot, and that's what I'm going to eat mostly now. With barley and mung dal and vegetables.
Nice.
It's very good.
Really healthy.
Almost like a khichdi, or you make it separately.
Khichdi, but it's so healthy and it's tasty and it's so easy to make. So I'm going to try it. But when I saw the 2 pieces of pizza from yesterday, I just broke.
Good way to break a fast.
I couldn't. Tomorrow I'll start. Okay. Anybody else say hello before we go?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. It's Yvette. Thank you so much for class.
Haribo, Yvette. Nice.
Haribo.
Good to see you.
You too.
Okay. On the 20th, I know it won't be. The 20th, I'll go up to Super Soul. That's a Sunday.
Okay.
The 21st in the evening, I'll give class there.
Oh, okay. Good.
Maybe, you seem to find a way to.
I get around.
Yeah, it'd be good to get there.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody
else?
And
we'll talk sometime this week. We'll talk.
Sure. Today's a good day. When you work?
Can you do Can you do noon today? Is that possible?
Noon would be perfect. Noon.
Okay, cool. I'll call you then.
Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Hamalata Radha.
Haribol,
Thank you so much for
great.
class, Maharaj.
You can't get enough of the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta.
Yes, I'm loving it.
I know, I
thank you.
see that. And that's advancement in spiritual life. And we get a taste for hearing about, the pastimes of Krishna. It's great. Okay. I'll give my
Thank you
regards
so
to
much,
Shyam.
Maharaj.
Is he out in the fields yet?
He's now today moving the food truck to the new location. Now he's going to be stable there.
Oh, he's got a stable location?
Yes, he finally got it in
How
the
many
place he
days a
wanted.
week has he got that?
They're planning on opening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Bo. Anybody else want to say quickly hello before I look down the names and just thank everyone for coming? I'm doing that now. Okay, thank you all for coming. Okay, Haribo. Vanchakalpatubhyascha kripa sindhu bheva cha patitanam pavane